Now. Hello, everyone. Jess Clare here, coming to you with the founders of Clann.com.au, Clann Australia. Have I got that right?
Yep, you got that right.
You got that right? Okay, good. I'll introduce you to these guys in a second. I'm just going to post this again to my page, live now. If I don't want to put you personally on the spot, please do say hello. If you're jumping on, you can go and share this onto your page. If that terrifies you, don't worry about it. Okay. But I'm here with Liam and Amanda. Who is jumping on? I just want to check out. Hello, Hayley. Hello, Marta. Is the Care System BOLLOXED? Now, Liam, you're Irish, aren't you, Liam?
Yes.
Hey, Jen. Yeah.
Born in Scotland, grew up in Ireland.
Say that again?
I said born in Scotland, but grew up in Ireland.
Born in Scotland, grew up in Ireland, and BOLLOXED is a good way to describe the care system.
Yeah, it's fine Irish.
Yeah, it is an Irish term.
We've got another one too, because in Ireland, being Catholics, so you can't use swear words or anything like that. So to get around it, we invented words like bollocks and fecht. You ever heard that one? Fecht?
No.
Fecht. So the country's fecht, which is what we used to sing, after the economic crisis that happened in Ireland. You've got to sing
very good.
If you say very the other one, there's 10 Hail Marys and Our Father next time you go to confession.
Okay. Geez, I can't cut you off. I really can't cut you off. Otherwise, I can't hear you. I love this Irish accent. So let's talk about this care system, right? Because I've come across Liam and Amanda, and I must admit, I didn't even really know what they were talking about. I was like, care seems to be okay, right? So anyone that is jumping on, hello, Kylie, anyone that is jumping on, if you do have people in aged care or disability care, I do with my mum, or you do with childcare, you guys have seen something that is absolutely not working. So you even said to me, you don't even realize that this exists because the system misses out around 1 million people. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell me a bit more about that?
Well, hi, I'm Amanda. I'm one of the founders of Clann, and we have come into finding Clann because we were looking for, at the time, childcare for our then 3-year-old, and we wanted more of a family daycare sort of arrangement, but we couldn't find anything more than 40 minutes away. So we felt, well, it's not too difficult to do it, and surely there'll be a lot of people like us that want to find childcare.
We had a good home. We just had a daughter, only child, so felt it'd be a really good thing to have companionship. So we looked at originally setting up little home care ourselves, because we had another cottage on the property that Amanda ran through AirBNB, and it was a really nice place. And so we thought, well, Amanda's got a background in social work and childcare, so why not just set up to have another 1 or 2 kids come in and be companions for Alice. We weren't really interested in making money out of it. We just wanted companionship for Alice, maybe do it a couple of days a week. And found that it was just the actual process to be able to do that. We were prevented. We were told we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about that, because you've said there's like 1 million people that are not in formal care, and I was like, what is even formal care? And what is it that you notice? What is it you want you're not getting? It's probably the best question.
Informal care is a term that's used to describe where you cannot find regulated care system or a place in a childcare centre or family daycare service, any of those regulated services, and you can't get a place when you need it on terms that suit you. And so you turn to people like your grandparents, you turn to people like aunts, uncles, cousins, extended family, friends, neighbours. You can even go onto Gumtree and look at people advertising to provide care services there. We call them kind of backyard operators. So we kind of got interested in that, and we thought, well, here's our little girl. We're one of those parents. And when we started researching it, we discovered something that I think was quite interesting. And if you can share my screen, Jess, I'll just show you this.
Yeah.
We'll see what you think of this.
Already. This one? I think it's you.
Yeah. Have you got that? Can you see that?
Yes. What did you find was interesting?
Yeah. Well, we thought the risk with us using informal care is that Alice would miss out on some of the early childhood learnings. So we're quite concerned about that. And then there's the lack of insurance and safety and other things. So when we began asking the question that Amanda just asked there a minute ago, we thought, well, we can't be the only ones like this. I wonder how many more there are. So this is a private page on clann.com.au. So if you actually click on it and do /community, then you get access to this little page. And this is what I share with a lot of community groups. And it talks about profiling your community. So if you go onto this page and click this little blue button here, it'll take you to this. And this is all the councils in Australia. I'll just take you down. There's Bendigo, Bundaberg, there's Cairns,
Canberra.
Colac, Otway. There's loads of them. But I'll go down to this one here. This is Geelong. This is where we live. And then I click on that.
You're in Melbourne.
Here in Melbourne. Yep. And then there's this down here. What do we do? And if you go into what do we do? What do we do? Where is it now? What do we do? Oh gosh. Come down here to care and childcare. Yeah, so I'll go into childcare, I'll click on that. And then it tells me that in my region, there's 73,000, that's a lot of people. 29% of people provided unpaid care to children in 2016. And 23,000 of them were caring for children other than their own. That's just in our area. And then you go, well, what about care? And we go in there, there's 30-odd thousand people providing unpaid assistance to a person with disability, long-term illness or old age in 2016, 12% of the population. There's two little statistics. You can go into your own council area, just have a look at this, and you'll be surprised at what you learn, I think. So there's an awful lot of people that are being left behind by all of the regulated care systems. We thought, hey,
people can just do this, do what they're already doing, but they can be supported by Clann, the Clann platform. There's resources, there's further training opportunities for them.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about it. So I'm still trying to understand, right? The unpaid work. What sort of unpaid work are they doing?
They're providing the care for children, for aged, disability, people at home. Like I'm connecting with people on LinkedIn now, and you can see on their profiles that they're taking time off work to stay at home to look after a family member that needs more intensive care because they're not getting the solution they need from the system. So there are a lot of people that just take it upon themselves to do that. It's unsupported. And we thought, well, there must be a way to actually empower and support all of these informal carers to turn what they're doing into a small family business.
And there's also the culturally diverse people too, diverse groups who want to have their own culture, looking after their children, serving them their food, doing their customs.
Yep. So religious reasons. There's
languages. Yeah.
I think.
Okay. So I know that you guys fully get it. Like I'm like you guys see this, like it's so clear to you what you see.
Yeah.
But I'm like, are really people are doing this? Like people are not getting the care they need. Children, age, disabilities. And what you're saying is around 1 million people are taking it on their own accord to help people because they need their help, but there's no actual system for them.
Yes. I mean, if you click on the share screen again, I'll just show you one little slide.
Okay, sure.
From the Australian Bureau of Statistics. So if you can see that little picture there, and I'll just run it full screen so that it's a bit clearer. You can see that the tallest column in this picture for 2011, 2014, 2017, the tallest column there is informal care only. So these are all the families. There's more families dependent on informal care
than formal care.
Yeah, and informal care is, can you give me an example? Why don't you give me an example of what informal care would look like for aged care, for example?
Look, we'll do it for the childcare, Jess, because that's where we're really starting.
Oh yeah, okay.
So there's grandparents, friends, family, neighbours, work colleagues. So, for example, down near where we live, there's a very large meatworks or abattoir food processing centre. There's about 800 employees in there, and they all work shifts. And this is a 24/7 operation. And there's also a hospital that works around the clock there as well. So there's a lot of shift workers in this particular town. And because the care services down there are more Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, there's a lot of these irregular hours or regular shift hour workers that have got no care options at all. And so what tends to happen is that some of these workers will go and work a shift and then come home and they start looking after each other's children. So they provide care while the other person goes and does their work. So that's one example. And then, of course, grandparents, it's an age-old story about the number of families that have to use a grandparent because both parents need to work. And as gig economy workers and casual workers and shift workers become more prevalent, more and more are kind of falling outside the system because the existing system doesn't work. They might only need care for 2 days a week, but you have to book in and commit to much longer contracts if you want to put a child into a family daycare service, for example. And a lot of shift workers and casual workers can't plan ahead that much for that type of recurring care because, as I say, it's not regular, it's irregular. And so they do. The grandparents, they turn to friends and family, neighbours, work colleagues, or cash for care operators to meet their needs. And the kids fall outside the system because when they're in that type of care, they're not receiving all the early childhood education that regulated care services provide. And so when they start school, they can often be behind in reading, writing and maths. And once you're behind starting school, harder and harder as life goes on to catch up. And so statistics show that a lot of kids then will start dropping out of school again when they're 15, 16. Because they've just never enjoyed the experience. They've been behind from the beginning. And that's a big concern. And so what we wanted to create was a smarter alternative to that. But yes, families still need that flexibility, but can we actually give these people some support, give them some resources, and turn what they're doing into something that's closer to regulated care? So we give them some training. There's 6 weeks induction training so that they know how to deliver and provide care safely. They are equipped with early learning resources to use with the kids that are in care, and they're given training pathways so they can actually enroll to do a Certificate 3 and become qualified, and then go on to have a career in care if that's what they want to do, or they can just live their life being in family care.
So this is like when Airbnb started, I called you, I think, Care BNB, like you created this kind of Care BNB scenario. And when Airbnb started, it was like, oh, I've got a spare bed, so I might as well leverage my home and be able to monetize my home with my bed. And then Uber started, and it was like, well, I've got a car, so when I want to make some extra cash, I'll go use a car. So this is like the opportunity to become a carer and then start like a network, like an AirBNB of care, like a Care BNB. So you then are able to you're able to provide care for childcare, and you said aged care and disability care, but whatever your skills are, is that right?
Starting off with childcare, we're in the process of modifying the platform so that we can welcome people that want to provide support workers for aged care and disability care. But our services are all about in-home, so there's nothing clinical about it, there's nothing medical. It's just purely practical care. Like, for example, we live with Amanda's mum, and Amanda does a lot of work just around the house and property. That is very, very helpful. And so there's so much. What we're trying to really do is encourage people to be able to live more of their lives in their own homes for much longer, without having to go into a large centralized
and build the community supports.
So if people were able to sort of do this around, then they'd get so is it
just close or community based.
So you could always have one on every road. I mean, in our road there's about 16, 20 houses maybe. There's a lot of families. If one or two people decided to become life unit family carers on this road, it will allow care to be provided for all the kids along the road within walking distance. You don't have to drive anywhere. They still get learning support. They're still fully insured. The family carers know how to keep homes safe for children, so they can educate parents on how to make their homes more safe if they happen to be working in the home of the child, as opposed to the child coming into their home. So there's a lot of good that can happen, and this is what started it. I mean, Amanda worked on Airbnb. We used it for the cottage, and she got really frustrated one day and looking for care for Alice, and just saying, why couldn't it be as convenient? Why can't organising childcare be as convenient as Airbnb?
And so people can directly and not have to go through other agencies.
And to be able to look at the person's profile, look at the profile of the care environment.
What do you need? What's convenient? Where do you live?
Where do you live? All the necessary documentation. I've got a working with children check. Here it is. If you want to have a look at it, here's my police check. Here's my insurance certificate. Here's my first aid certificate. It's all on my profile. You can look. You can look at all of these different profiles and then pick one that you feel that you connect with for whatever reason it might be. Correspond with them, just like Airbnb.
And then of course the safety. Then of course safety is paramount.
Safety. So all homes must meet National Kid Safe guidelines. So there's very stringent requirements. But a lot of it's common sense. Yes, I mean there's nothing really.
No, you're just bringing people, but you're providing. I think when I first said it, so here I am. I want someone to look after my child. Because I'm an entrepreneur, and every now and then I just might need them to be looked after for a couple of hours, right? But there's no way in the world I would go out and go, like, unless I knew them, I understood them, or I was able to connect with them. So this is like Airbnb, where it's like you go and actually, like Facebook, you go check out their profile.
Well, you can go beyond that as well. You might say, all right, I want someone to pick up my child from school, bring them home, and supervise them doing their homework, and then 3 hours later, drop them back to my house.
This is actually a good point. Someone's just put this out, because one of the things I'm finding in society at the moment is there's like childcare creates this forced vaccination, and there are some concerns for people around vaccinations, right? And yes, the formal system does require vaccinations for whatever reason, but where kids are not vaccinated, they get to go in smaller groups, but they can still, go and relate to each other, right? So it provides that sort of opportunity for both beliefs.
They would have to make those known to the carer, and the carer would have to agree that that's okay to look after children not vaccinated, but that's completely their choice.
But then it sort of creates. Yeah, but then it creates that kind of community, right? Because some, like in every society, some communities prefer it, some don't. But then you'd be able to kind of, talk about that within the profile.
Yes.
So it creates, who around me,
And they talk to each other, and they work it all out.
And they do. So you could have a family that really believes in that, and they say, right, I'm going to put my hand up to and say, look, I will offer care for children that aren't vaccinated because I don't believe in it, and my child isn't vaccinated. So if they want to do that, but transparency.
Okay. So firstly, it's an opportunity for people who may want to become carers as well. So family carers. So it's an opportunity to create extra income, because you might be just home with your child. You want a couple of other children, then you can create extra income. So if someone does want to get that qualification and join that platform, If you want to drop a link to your platform in this live,
Yep.
you don't have to do that now. You can do that afterwards, just so people can access that.
Right.
That's how they do. They can sign up. Is that right? Or they can contact you direct as well. Is that right?
Yeah, they do.
And we just ask them to do a safety check, which is just the working with children check, the first aid, the insurance, and then they would do, depending on what training they've got, they may not need to do just a 6-week aids.
So
which is all the minimum, the basic.
That's right. Okay, I can share, if you share the screen again, Jess.
Yeah, sure.
Quickly show you this.
Yeah, please do.
This is the training.
Yeah. So I'll just go back into, under the platform here, under cares, you can basically have a look. The induction process, because we're dealing with kids, it is so. We've broken this into two. So first of all, there's a safety program, and we've made it very convenient on the platform for you to get your police check, your working with children check, your all of those necessary things. So basically, if you don't pass that, you can't be a carer on the platform. So you need to be able to get all of those things.
Yeah,
so
this is like Uber, unless you pass all those health tests.
If you already have them, terrific. You don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But if you need a first aid certificate, we've got it all set up on the platform. We've got a really good first aid partner that provides everything online, so you can do all of this online.
All online.
And just make arrangements then to do a practical assessment at the end of it some other time. So now you've got all of your essential safety stuff, and then we do a family care induction program. And again, this is all online with a diploma qualified trainer that will help you through this. It's designed to give you the enhanced knowledge, confidence, and skills.
It's all the practical.
All the practical stuff. And again, it's all common sense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of based, it's like a crash course of a Cert 3, but it's all the essential bits that you need to be able to offer a safe service. And the next thing that we then offer, once you're inducted and on the platform, we call it Earn and Learn. And Earn and Learn means that you can actually go on and do your Certificate 3, study, and also make some money and gain some valuable experience while you're actually studying to do your Cert 3. And we've teamed up with GoTIF, which means that we've got pathways to do Certificate 3 and diplomas in childcare, aged care, and disability care. And all of that can be arranged on the platform as well. You don't have to do it.
All online.
Yeah, all online. So it's all very convenient in this new COVID world. And we've even got some grant funding available for people that need a bit of help to discount the cost of participating in these programs.
Yeah, great. All right.
So once you change, you can either work in the home of the families or you can set up your own home, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
And the thing about Cert 3 is that you can then look at applying for a job in a childcare centre or being registered as a family daycare educator with one of our affiliated partners. And you've got a path, then you can have a family daycare service caring for, up to 5, sometimes 7 kids, depending on age. Yeah. And then it becomes a full-time job.
I'll wait a minute.
Yeah. So really when you talk about is the care system bolloxed, what you're talking about is that unless you go through the current regulated system for childcare, which is childcare centres, or there is some family daycare out there in different places, but it's
there's less of it.
Less of it now, because it's not too easy to find people, or you kind of there's no easy way to match each other.
No. And
so like
choice really of carer.
Okay, and that's right. So you're creating the safety in the carer, the proper requirements of the carer, whereas in the centralized system you've only got what you get in that centralized system or the family daycare, and you don't even know if they're qualified in that current family daycare.
You know who they are. I mean, we went looking for Alice, and we found lots of buildings, but we didn't really get comfortable with any of the staff that were kind of working in them. It just didn't feel right for us. We
no choice.
Yeah.
When we tried family daycare, we were told by, I think, the council that was operating it, that they would decide where Alice would be put in care, not us. So we had no say in it. So there's things like that. And it was too expensive what we wanted anyway. The contracts, the paperwork, the bureaucracy around it. You know, if we decide that we need care for Alice for 3 hours tomorrow, that's a very short time frame, but there's no way to actually arrange that.
No. So this
to change.
So this allows the sort of economic system to work out itself as well, like the Airbnb.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is like, you're a carer, you get to put a rate of whatever you want. You get to put your availability in here for wherever when you're available, your qualifications, the whole thing, the platform. Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
So you set your own rates, you set your own hours. If you've got special services you want to offer, like teaching music or tutoring or homeschooling or like we saw and spoke to some people that wanted their kids to learn English very quickly, so that by the time they got to school they would be fluent in it, because they're migrants and they just arrive in the country and their child starts school next year and doesn't speak a word of it. So putting that child into an environment where they actually get really good tutoring in English from somebody, that's going to be a bonus as well. So we saw all of these different things happening, not just providing care. It's not just babysitting. It's not just being a nanny. It's doing something more positive, more proactive, that encourages healthy, active play amongst kids and reduces the risk of disadvantage by the time they start school.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. And we've just talked about the childcare, which is where you're mainly focused in at the moment, but you want to expand that, and the platform's being updated to aid care. So it's more.
Yeah. So we spoke to a lovely lady yesterday, who's a pastoral spiritual care. She works with elderly people, and a lot of them have been taken out of the homes, and a lot of them are back home, isolated, alone, and they don't have access to any of these care in the centres anymore. And she thought it was a great idea, and she was wondering whether she could offer her services to elderly family members' homes, because they can't access it anymore in the centres. So we see a lot of opportunity, I think, for aged care and disability care to be provided with that same home-based focus. Yeah,
great. So how does someone sign up for the system to see who's out there at the moment? Because I know that you're really looking to get carers onto the system and people that can supply. So you definitely put the link in the comments here. There's a few platforms here. If you could send me the link, actually, I'll put it into the comments here. I don't know how you do that, but if you can send it to me via Facebook, then I can put it into the comments here, so it will go across all the platforms. But so people can sign up to this if they do want care. But if you want to become a carer, you can go through actually getting all the qualifications and doing all the things to do that. If you want to put that link,
So where we're at the moment is that we've spent a couple of years researching and developing all this, Jess, and really it's really only last month that we started to go public with this, to say, right, we're now ready to welcome people onto the platform. So we're starting by encouraging carers, so that we do have a good mix of carers to then go out and market to all the families, to say, right, we now have the people that can provide the kind of flexible, accessible, affordable care that you need. So here they are. So we've got the first group are going through their safety and induction training at the moment, and we'll probably do that between now and Christmas. We'll continue focusing on getting as many carers onto the platform or signed up ready to go through the process as we can. So anyone who's interested, and an example might be going back to the grandparents again. I think with the government now, they've changed the rules that allow pensioners to earn up to $10,000 a year without it affecting their pension. So there's a lot of opportunity for grandparents who are already looking after a grandchild to maybe look after one or two more on a paying basis and make an extra 10 more.
It's great. I mean, I love the concept. When I first heard it, like I said, can you explain this to me? Like, I don't really understand, but it's like there are people out there. Someone said it before. I think it was Carly. She's been watching. Carly said that her mum looks after her 90-year-old mum, so her grandma. Her mum looks after her grandma.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's right. It's like, well, you know, why not then? Like, and then she's like, great, I'm going to look this up. Right. So definitely, I've just looked for your link. I can't see. Oh, you've just sent it to me there. I'll just post it in there now.
There's a comment on here as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay, great. There's a few places. This just posts it to everyone. So there's the link, Carly, for you. So if you want to get involved and like AirBNB, you want to create yourself as a carer, or if you need care, go onto the platform to actually have a look. That you can do that, and you can do it from your mobile too. So it is mobile.
It's very easy to do. Setting up a family profile just takes a couple of minutes, but what that does is it tells us the areas that people are interested, because it gives us all the hotspots to say that there's 10 families in this particular postcode that would be interested in this type of support, and so that we can then go and create a family care in that area. So the tell us where they are and what they need, then we can create the solution for them.
Yeah, but at the moment you're really building both. You're like, we want carers, and anyone who has interest, please send us your interest as well, right? Yeah.
So if you building up and training carers.
Yeah, great. So if any of you guys are interested, you know, just post a comment here. You know, Liam and Amanda will go in and probably respond to your comments anyway, but click on them, send them a PM. They can send you a link to catch up with them as soon as possible. And yeah, start building up this platform so it becomes more available and you guys can expand it.
Great.
Yeah, and thank you for creating it, because, you know, I'm all about new and creative industries that actually go out and impact people's real life problems. So thank you for getting annoyed and taking the time to actually create something that makes a difference to people. I really love it.
Thank you, Jess. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything to say, please leave a comment, but otherwise, thanks again, guys. Thanks for being with me tonight.
All the best.
Stay on, because I want to talk to you after this. Okay. See you guys.